Okay, so the next part is making the risotto. Now, level 2s have done this as an assessment this year. Level 3s have done it a couple of times as well, so I'm going to be fairly sort of quick with the demonstration. I've put in there about 10 grams of butter and I'm just going to melt it. Don't let the pan get too hot or else your butter will burn, of course, and your risotto will be completely spoiled. First thing that goes in there are some finely diced shallot. There's about half a shallot there. And I've also got 1 clove of garlic which has been crushed down with a knife and some salt. I'm just going to sweat that literally for about maybe 30 seconds to a minute, just to take the edge off it and just to make the shallot slightly translucent. The rest of the ingredients I'll talk through as I put them in. Some are optional because some are quite expensive to get hold of, and some are just nice to have in there. So I've also got some really finely diced mushrooms as well. There's just about 1 mushroom in there which I've just cut into really fine brunoise. And I'm just going to pop that in there as well. And that's going to take literally seconds to sweat off as well. In this pan just here as well, I've got some vegetable stock. Now there's probably about half a litre in there, something like that. It's just enough to bring this risotto together. And if you remember, when we're making risotto, we're using a round grain rice. Now this is arborio rice, and we use a round grain rice because it's full of starch and that makes our risotto really nice and creamy. So I've got 2 small pots of that. We could use other types of round grain rice. There are other round grain rice available, but arborio is just the one that we use in college. Okay, so the next thing to go in is our arborio rice, and I'm just going to pop that in, and then I'm going to make sure that I coat that rice in all the rest of the ingredients. And we can hear the rice grains start to snap a little bit, start to crackle, and that's just some of the starch starting to come out of the rice grains in its bursts. And it's just a sign that we're ready for the next part of the addition of our ingredients. Okay, because we don't want to put any colour on our rice at all. You notice that I'm keeping this ingredients moving all the time. Level 1s might not have made risotto at all, so this is sort of something that they can try and maybe look forward to it as an assessment for next academic year when they move into level 2. So risotto rice is in there now. Then I'm going to add a touch of white wine, so about 25 to 50 mils of white wine, and you can hear that start to reduce straight away. We want that to reduce right down so there's virtually nothing left. We're not after the alcohol that's in there, we're just after the flavour of the wine. So that's really important, just to let it reduce down with the rice until there's virtually nothing left. Now the ratios, for those people who haven't made risotto before, it's usually about 3 parts of vegetable stock to 1 part of rice. But there is a trick to making risotto, as you'll know if you've made it already. We don't add all the stock at once. We need to add it a little bit at a time. So we add 1 ladleful at a time until each ladleful's incorporated. And then once each ladleful's incorporated, we add another ladleful. We keep on doing that until we've got a product that's al dente. Now al dente is an Italian word, means to the tooth. It means that the rice should just have a little bit of bite to it. Okay, so that pan's completely dry now, so that we need to start now adding the stock. So first ladleful of stock goes in. Okay, and we stir that round and keep on stirring until all that ladleful of stock has disappeared. And then, as I said, we can add 1 more ladleful, then another, and then another. And after every time we make sure all the liquid's disappeared. So we've got really sort of a nice dry pan before we add the next ladleful. Okay, so we've got to a stage now where our risotto is al dente. Little taste, just to make sure. That's perfect, even though I say it myself. So we've got some ingredients that we need to add right at the very end. So we've got some peas, frozen peas. If I put them in too early, they'll lose the colour and they'll lose the flavour. So they go in, stir them through, And then we've got some chives as well. So some really finely chopped chives. Stir those in. And then this is an optional ingredient, of course, because it's very expensive. We've got some saffron. Now, for those that don't know, saffron is the stamens of crocuses, and it's really, really expensive. It's one of the most expensive commodities that you can buy. So I'm literally just going to put a few of those stamens into there. And they're going to take just a few minutes to infuse. So I'm going to give that a little bit more cooking time, so 2 to 3 minutes. And hopefully that saffron, it should just add a little bit of colour, and it should also give it a really, really nice flavour. Now, if you can't afford saffron, which most people can't do or can't get hold of it because it's not sort of readily available, you can get powdered saffron, and you can also get turmeric as well. And turmeric has a slightly different flavour, but it'll give it a nice little touch of yellow. We're just looking for a yellow colour, just as a bit of a complement to the dish, really, just to make it look a little bit more exciting. Okay, so once I've got that saffron to infuse, all I need to do then is put a little bit of seasoning into there. So I'm going to put a touch of salt, I'm going to put a touch of black pepper, and a touch of white pepper as well. I quite like a bit of pepper, so you know, a nice bit of flavour into there. And then we need to season that. Give it a little taste to make sure that we're okay. That's really, really nice actually. And then we need to take that away from the heat, and we're going to chill it. We're going to chill it down until it's completely cold. Now I'm going to use the blast chiller here at college because it's really, really quick. But you can take it away and leave it on the windowsill with the window open. Don't put it in the fridge because it'll heat up the rest of your fridge and it'll be a food safety issue. But let it chill down for about 10 minutes until you can literally just grab hold of it and touch it, really. You want to be able to touch it to manipulate it into arancini balls. Okay?